Hey guys, we're going live here with Daniel Betancourt. We're just running a few minutes late and just need to get, here he comes. Beautiful StreamYard. You have to jump on. Yeah, I'm live. Otherwise, it's a delete. I want to talk about a little real estate journey with Mr. Betancourt over here. You got a seat over here. You got to walk around.
This is unscripted.
Unscripted, totally off the cuff, everything. This is good stuff. Woo! This is live and in person. This isn't even like the StreamYard backgrounds.
This is the hot seat.
Yes. So we love the office stuff for this. So I wanted to talk about Daniel's journey at EXP, 10, 12, 13, 14 years at RE/MAX,
yes,
and moving over, 6 months. What does it look like for you? And, what's the journey been like?
Yeah, so this is I've been in real estate since 2004, so it's been a long time. And first 4 years were part-time. Then I was with RE/MAX for 12 years. And RE/MAX is a great company. They were very kind to me. But once you start producing, in my journey, once I was producing consistently at a high level, it was just kind of repeating the same thing. So the motivating factors for me moving over to EXP were how can I expand on what I'm already doing? I'm selling real estate, which is great. There are other opportunities with EXP to grow income, grow potential retirement out of the real estate, just the day-to-day selling. So I was just looking for more opportunity, and EXP growing fastest growing company in the world, real estate brokerage wise. So that was really exciting, and I'm happy I did it. And then after I joined, I felt like, man, I should have done it a couple of years earlier when I was considering it. I'd considered it, and sometimes you don't want to distract what you're doing, and it was already going well. So I felt like, let me just keep considering it, but not interrupt my day-to-day operations.
Well, that's a lot of questions people have is like, I'm successful right now, so why would I switch? And I don't want to interrupt what's going on, or I'm busy right now. I've got, I've just talked to an agent today. She's like, I'm available this afternoon if you want to connect. She goes, well, I've got 3 points this afternoon, and I'm at the office till 9 o'clock. Cool, let's set a time. How do we, we don't want to interrupt that pattern. And there's never a good time to make a move. If you wait till you're slow, then you got to rebuild. It's like the moving always helps you, accelerate what you have going on. So if you always wait till you're completely dead in business, then it's a complete rebuilding process. You want to take this and have momentum behind it.
Right.
I moved over in December of 18, and we sat down, it was like December 15th, the day I moved, we sat down the next day and said, okay, why are you doing this? What's up? And just basically had some conversations of what I was doing, and, because we have very similar business models at the time where I had a small team, you had a small team. And then when I moved, gave me the opportunity to grow my team larger. And you've got a couple of things going on. You're coaching agents on the, not on the side, but with your coaching company with 𝗃𝐽𝐻. And, you've got your wife just joined, Nicole, was about 2 years ago.
Yep, she got her license about 2 years ago.
And I remember we had a conversation. It was like to convince her to go, because it was like for Angie and I, when I went down to Key West back in 2018 to meet with 𝗃𝐚𝐬𝐲 on this, it was like, what's the reasons to go to EXP? And then I got to bring all that back to Angie and say, okay, this is the reasons to go. Mm-hmm. And she was all game because we needed to make a change.
Right.
I was a guy that was going to die with a balloon over my head.
Right.
Because I never planned on leaving. And then all of a sudden it's like, it allowed my business to accelerate. And also, not the stocks, not the revenue share, but it just allowed the financial gains that we had with just the money we're saving from RE/MAX.
Right. Yeah. It's something that I went over with you. It's something that I went over with my real estate coaches towards the end of the year. I always thought, okay, if I'm going to move, I want to do it kind of like on that January 1st, start with a new company on January 1st. I'm sure a lot of people think that same thing. But what happens is a lot of times you start considering it strongly towards the holidays, November, and we're just trying to push business. We're trying to close out the year, hit our goals. And then there's a little conflict there because it's a big, important decision that you're considering. And it's bad timing because it's at the end of the year and you're trying to accomplish all these things, and there's Christmas and stuff like that. So it's easy to say, this is too distracting, I'm going to put this decision off. And that's what happened with me. for a couple years.
So did you take your kids' Christmas gift money and say, kids, guess what? You got new real estate signs for Christmas?
Yeah. So for me, what ended up happening was, I got some bits and pieces of it in year one in our first meeting, and it was very interesting and it got my attention. But for me, I said, I'm going to let Todd be the guinea pig and see how it goes with him, because I'm not totally convinced. I haven't, I don't think enough people knew about EXP for me to be comfortable back then. And so then like year two, I think we met again. And then I was really compelled, and I was talking to my coach in my coaching call saying, this is a big distraction because I really, I really want to go, but I'm really afraid. Plus I've got all these, transactions that are pending and active that I have to pay attention to and growing a team. And so my coach was like, you have to make a decision by next call. It's like, you're going, you're not going. And whatever you decide, so next call came and I'm like, I'm not going. And so I could just focus on my business. And then I think I texted you. I said, hey, are you ready for our third annual? Do you remember that text?
Yes.
I said, are you ready for our third annual lunch EXP discussion? So on that one, it wasn't 3 years. It was actually three meetings over 2 years.
Yeah.
And we had that meeting. But my wife, she was newer, and the pandemic was happening. So that was a disruption in her first couple of years. So she was just all supportive of whatever it was that I felt like was best for the family.
Right.
She was all supportive in that.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Angie was like, what can we do to grow our business? Because as we tried to grow our team, it was like, it just got like a kind of a roadblock, just trying to push, because it does cost money out there. And, I loved our broker, and I would still be there today if it wasn't for the opportunities that had come across us, but I wouldn't have seen the growth I got and the opportunities that have been in front of us. And so it's like just trying to find that happy medium with all of it. And so you've moved companies. What was the biggest challenges you think you saw when you moved? Because that's like, I was never what I call a broker hopper, and to go from one to the next to the next. Right. And I only left RE/MAX once to go to another RE/MAX, and I was only there for 8 months, and I came back. Right. And you did the same thing where you left ours because it was more of a location thing for you. But the guys that like, I moved, I was here 2 years, there 3 years, there 4 years. And so being at the company for 10 years, and the biggest pain points moving from one brokerage to another, what was that you experienced?
So same thing, when you're in real estate a long time, you see other agents that are bouncing around. And for me, I think personally, I feel like that reflects poorly a little bit on the agent, that they've never settled in, that they've never gotten their business to a point where everything is just rolling right. Like they keep looking for something different. I don't know what it is, but they bounce around from different brokerages. Sometimes it's the fees, sometimes it's the splits, or sometimes it's the office location, or who knows what. But I never liked that look of saying, hey, today I'm with this brokerage, tomorrow I'm going to be with that brokerage. And it's like my annual
my annual video to
my annual announcement of where I'm going to be. So I think I think my client personally, I felt like, year after year, you're able to say you're with the same place. I think it shows to your customer base that you don't, that you're loyal, to your brokerage, but you're also steadfast. Switching, I think when I first joined RE/MAX, I was just going from a part-time agent to a full-time agent. And what I heard back then was fee-max, what a lot of people hear about RE/MAX, fee-max, a ton of fees. And I was afraid because of the fees. And it's true, there are a ton of fees, and it's just something, it comes with that, with joining them. But what happens is, what you feel like you're exchanging for those fees is this recognizable balloon, the logo. You feel like a lot of people know this balloon, and as a newer person to full-time real estate at the time, I wanted to align myself with something that I thought was very recognizable. So what happens is, what in my journey, you're with the company and you start wondering, like, is my success tied to the balloon or is it not? So sometimes it can become a crutch, and you feel like if I leave, everyone's going to abandon me, as though that all they care about was the recognizable balloon and not the awesome service that you've been giving them and staying in touch with them over the years. So then when another, like EXP comes out of nowhere, and you're like, they're not recognizable like the balloon. Yep. So there's a little bit of an intimidation so justifiably, 3-4 years ago, it was true. How many agents did EXP have?
16,000 when I joined 2.5 years ago.
And a year before that, it was probably 5,000.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like so few. But now I would say there's no excuse. Like everyone in the whole real estate industry, it's just the hottest topic in real estate, whether it's, controversial or not. Fastest growing company, all these coaches and team leaders and top producers from all these different, national locations are moving over. And so now that people are learning and the comfort levels there, it's exciting to be a part of the movement and not, be the brand new one in the room.
Well, when I left, it was like, the same thing. We're busy with the holidays and transactions and everything. And it's like, it was just a blip, but I also had my support team behind me, which helped get everything going so I can continue to sell real estate and just move on.
Mm-hmm.
And people say we get bombarded with emails, when people sign up with the company, and it's because you get bombarded. But if you stay on top of the emails, because you got to move your license, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that, and it's not anything that's unusual with moving different brokerages.
Right.
It's just that's part of what they have. They don't send you a whole checklist and check it off. They make sure they get it to you on this is what you need to do on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4.
Right. When you sign up, you get those emails. It says step 1, and then it'll say something like "look out for step 2."
Yeah.
And then the next day or later in the day, you'll get that email that says step 2. Now do this or that.
Well, if you step 1, join the world. Step 2, get on to work.
Right.
So if you do those all align in with each other.
Right. So you just have to, and I've taken screenshots of all those emails because that's something when you join, it's hard to explain. So what I've done is I've saved all those emails. So when I'm bringing someone onto the team or talking to someone about joining EXP, I can share with them, this is what to look out for. You're going to get this step 1 email. This is what it looks like. And an explanation, even though the explanation is in the email, I'm setting the expectations of what they're going to experience when they do move over. So, just like anything, when you move, it's uncomfortable at first. And there's just that little transition period that is a pain in the neck. Like when you're learning how to ride a bike, you're going to skin your knee sometimes, and that part stinks. But you go through that, and on the other side, you have, like you're riding a bike and you've got this freedom and the wind blowing in your hair, and it's awesome.
It's been smooth sailing from there. So any other top pain points that people should look out for if they're looking at making a move to a brokerage or even EXP when they're transitioning over?
So what I did, knowing that we were going to have this talk today, I made some bullet points. So I'll go over some of these bullet points.
Let's talk on the negatives first, because we know there's always those pain points. Then we'll talk about the positives.
Perfect. All right. So I have that. Squiggly line divides the pros. Okay. So change. Number 1 was change is uncomfortable at first, but often necessary to grow. Brand. You got to change your branding.
Yeah.
You got to follow all of these branding rules. So those things, you got to become familiar. There's expense in doing that. When you've been in real estate for many years, your old brand and all that is everywhere. Like, still this amount of time later, I still get periodic emails that have old branding on it, and I got to go in there and go into my bio and change it all. So that part, is uncomfortable. If you're a new agent, you don't have to worry about that. So that's cool. The overwhelm at first, like, when I joined, I told myself a limiting belief: in this first year, I might lose business.
Yeah.
Long term, I'm in it for the long term growth. But in my first year, I'm not expecting it to be easy. If I can just maintain what I did last year, to me, it'll be a success.
Yeah.
That's what I told myself moving over. So far, I'm having the best year. So it wasn't that much of a problem. But it can be. And so I would just set expectations. Don't think that you're going to switch from here to there and then you're just going to triple your production, because there are some transitionary challenges. That could be a limiting belief. Number 3, for struggles, I would say agents that have joined EXP, some of the struggles is if you're not plugged in and you're the type of agent that has always been able to walk into your broker's office and say, hey, I'm having trouble with this, or hey, my login's not working for that, or hey, I just got this email. Is it a problem? If you're used to that, it's a crutch.
Yeah.
And so when you join EXP, you don't have that. You don't have the ability to just walk into the broker's office and interrupt what he's doing to bring your problem to him. So you have to be plugged in. You have to take advantage of the mentor possibility. You have to lean on your sponsor. If you're not on a team, consider joining a team where you have a team leader who has all the answers, and that person can be that one that you call, text, walk into their office with those issues. So I would say those are the cons. When I was brainstorming, those are the cons that I came up with.
So it was, when we moved over, the logo was a big thing because we spent all the time rebranding, and it does cost money to move and rebrand. That's why one of the number one reasons I never wanted to move brokerages was because of that. And it's not as much as you think. It depends how much branding you have out there. If you're an individual agent, you usually don't have as much as a team does because we brand a lot more things.
Right.
And we of course rebranded after we moved to a different team name because we were Homes by Team Schroth. Now we're Todd Schroth Real Estate, or Todd. But I forget what our team name is. Todd Schroth Team.
Home selling team.
Todd Schroth Home Selling Team. Thank you. Business partner over here knows my team name.
You have good branding because I see it all the time.
We keep pushing it out there. We've changed it a few times. That's the other part, is that when you change it, you have to do that. And you go back and it's like Google your name and you'll see how much stuff you have out there and how much stuff needs to be changed. And it's a process. But you know what? It's not the biggest deal. It goes along as things go. But the broker, easy. Want to talk to Andrew, we can call him right now.
Right.
I've got his cell phone. He's always available for us whenever we need him. I can't just walk into his physical office, but what I can do is when I'm in the world, walk in and say to the girl at the desk, hey, I need to see the broker. And there's 8 supporting brokers. So guess what? You can always get a hold of somebody.
What I find is, EXP has multiple brokers. We're in the state of Florida. There's one main broker. That's Andrew's shop for, all of the agents. But there are like 5 other brokers.
There's 8 supporting brokers.
8 supporting brokers. So my belief is, I don't know if this is true, but this is how I envision it because it seems like how the experience that I've had. If you send an email to the broker email, I'm imagining that it goes out to those 8 brokers and one of them responds quickly.
Yep.
So I don't have to walk into an office ever. If I have a question, I just shoot an email to that email address and I always get a response reasonably quickly. It's usually not something like I need an answer within the next 20 minutes. You have to have those expectations.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because I've always walked into our broker's office and it becomes conversation, and here we are an hour later shooting the shit. Well, now I just need to find out an answer on this one problem. Cool, I go get that and I move on with my day.
Meanwhile, that broker's got no work done because after you leave, the next person
every
comes
agent's
in
doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The office stuff, I was always concerned about the office space. Well, I'm a brick and mortar person, so are you, and we want to have somewhere to go. There's 8 offices in the Orlando market that we can work out of with our partners that are around here. Mm-hmm. Training, there's a ton of training.
Right.
The mentorship program is great because I can lean on that to help the new agents that are joining our team. They give me a kind of a syllabus to go by. Right. What to kind of work with them on. Yeah. So let's talk about the pros. What are your best things you've experienced since you've been over here?
I think the whole point of coming to EXP was to grow. Yeah. And I think you had the experience when you were at your previous office. You were like the top producer. Yeah. So who do you go to help you grow? Yeah. The broker isn't necessarily an expert on how to double your production when you're already producing more than everyone in the office. Most brokers haven't had that kind of sales success. I mean, they can have success in another way, but so same thing at my previous broker, I was a #1 agent year after year. And so there's no one really to lean on. So what's been awesome at EXP is we're a family. So we have, there's you, I can go to you with questions on how to scale up in certain areas. And then, your sponsors, we're all really closely connected and everyone's very available. Yeah. So, that's probably the #1. And you see the success of people that are very accessible to you. That's been amazing. So that is one big differentiator. Selling real estate, working with buyers, working with sellers hasn't changed that much from where I came. Like, we still work with the customers, we still make offers, we still use the same systems to make the offers, we still get electronic signatures. None of that has really changed much. But what changes is learning strategies for growing your potential. That's the whole thing. Like, if you always want to see what's your potential, and if you're in a brokerage where your potential kind of has this glass ceiling, you're not going to live up to your potential. So if you want to live up to your potential, change is often necessary, and I feel like here the opportunities are just much greater.
when we were talking with our coach at the time about making the move, he goes, it's don't be scared about it, because it's another reason to reach out to your database. And everyone we sent out Angela and I had sent out a large email to our entire database. Hey, we made the move, and we got a lot of like positive things. And I always thought brand mattered, and then it was like, hey, I'm the brand. Actually, I'm the reason people are calling me. They're not calling me because of RE/MAX. And in the beginning, sometimes a certain brand can help you build, but after a certain point, you become the brand. Right. And I'm the Todd Schroth home selling team. Right. Now I know my team name. You're the Betancourt team, and so, or Team Betancourt, and so that's who you are, and it doesn't matter that it's just we're brokered by EXP Realty. We're brokered by RE/MAX Realty. Right.
Yeah, the brokerage is the venue to transact real estate legally. So joining EXP is not going to make you double your production. You have to put in the work. You have to learn strategies. So what I feel what EXP can give you is the connectivity to people who are producing at a high level, whatever level you want to produce on. You're a phone call away from people who are doing over 1,000 transactions a year, and they will respond to you because we're a part of the same family. And that, I don't feel like you get that really anywhere else.
No, because I think we're becoming from the top, being the top producers in the office, and they're unless we're going to other masterminds where you're connecting with those guys, they're just not always right in the back door. Right. There's enough of them in the Orlando market for us that we can always reach, and that want to help us grow, because if we help you grow, we grow. Right. And so, and I think that's another benefit is we've always collaborated when we're at RE/MAX offices and everything. Even agents in my office, I'm willing to sit there and help build your business. I mean, there's enough real estate to be sold that I can't sit there and stop, and help. And, the old broker would always say, why do you want to share what you're doing? Because nobody will do it. And I'm willing to open my playbook. I've always been willing to do that. Why we're selling 100 homes a year, what our team model looks like, what our splits are, what everything is. Right. And it's just a matter of, one, do they want to do that? Do they want to start a team? Do they want to learn the pain points and all that other good stuff there? But are they going to even compete against us? Because again, there's enough real estate in Longwood. I've got a guy in my backyard who's in our office. I'm sharing our business with him, and have we competed on an appointment together? No. Will it potentially happen? Maybe. Right. Hey, I'm going to say I'm a better agent, but but also want to share the list. You've interviewed Jeff. Great. I think he's a great agent for you guys to work with. Right. Move on to the next one, because there's enough other sales happening.
We're a good example. We've competed against each other in listing appointments, and there's no animosity. If the seller's going to choose who they're going to choose, there are millions of homes just in our Central Florida market. Look at these institutional buyers that are coming along. They're doing thousands of transactions, and it's not really affecting the top producers. No. The top producers are we're still finding the business, still finding the sales. Top producers, right? So the business is out there. It's unlimited. And if you're one of those agents that's always been helpful, there are some agents that are secret playbook to 20 transactions a year. So they're very they don't feel like that there's abundant business out there. Yeah. But if you're one that has always been the go-to person in the office, if you're the one that agents come to in the office and look to you as a source of information and a source of education, it's a perfect fit here because that's how everyone is. Yeah. And everyone can learn something from each other. Even if you're doing less business than me, there's something about your business that you're probably doing on a higher level.
We're selling 100 houses a year each, and we've got enough tips that we can teach you that we can show you how to sell 20 homes a year. And when I taught a class last week at the downtown office on how to become Icon agent, and then we converted that in from going Icon on how to build a farm. And there was a lot of new agents in there. They've sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 homes, and it's like give them 2 pieces of advice that they can take to double their business, whether it's going to 2 homes, 4 homes, 6 homes, 20 homes to 40. Whatever, you can offer that little bit of advice, because guess what? I'm here to help. I mean, there's enough real estate out there, obviously, in our markets to keep going.
Right. I like the fact that the networks that we're plugged into are all hustlers. Even the ones that are not producing a lot, they're not producing a lot yet. Yeah. They're all go-getters. Everyone, because of the collaborative nature, I get calls and text messages on a regular basis from, a mixture of new agents and veteran agents that are just like, hey, I saw you here or there. Do you have a minute to talk? I'm always, happy to share. And that's how you've been with me over the years at RE/MAX, and that's how I've been with other agents that I've met along the way. And because we know that there's enough business out there.
Yep. And if I can help enough people elevate what we're doing, then it's going to help elevate the industry standard.
Right. I think when you introduced me to coaching, I don't know, 2014.
A long time ago.
Yeah, 7 years ago, or I was kind of blown away by how much sharing was happening.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been a turning point for me. That's like, here are all these people sharing everything that they're experiencing success with, and no one here is afraid that they're going to lose all their business by sharing everything. And you know, that was just a little taste of what our brokerage is all about now. I
gotta share this story on the coaching. So you came to me and said, hey, I was running my numbers and I realized I didn't pay you a referral fee on something that came through. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't even remember it. So
right.
It's like, cool, take that money and call my coach and go get 3 months of coaching or 4 months of coaching, whatever it was.
Right.
And that was like, you know, and I think you said this, maybe Steve said the same thing, like, why would you do that? Why not help an agent out who wants to grow?
Right.
Why not invest a little bit into them? I had no financial benefit from that. I mean, I was still paying my coach retail pricing.
Right.
They didn't say, well, you brought a new member in, you can do this.
Yeah.
And plus I forgot about it. So,
right.
well, didn't see the money.
Yeah. And
so,
I got you back on a couple deals later,
yeah.
But just that opportunity that you gave me was great. I was doing like the year end. Where did all my business come from? And I'm like, I'm going down the line and like this one came from there, and there's one that came up and I'm like, where did that one come from? I don't remember where it
That's
came from.
my tracking referral system. It doesn't work.
Gmail search the name and I'm like, oh yeah, that came from Todd. And I'm like, gotta call Todd. Like, hey, 9 months ago, I'm embarrassed to make this phone call, but 9 months ago you shot me over a referral, and I'm going through my numbers now at the end of the year. And I see I closed this person and I never paid you that referral fee. I'm sorry about that. I'll pay you right away. And then you said, use that, you introduced me to your coach and you said, use that. And that was approximately the cost of 3 months of coaching.
Yeah.
And, that.
But you've gone from, not doing coaching at all, not believing in it, to understanding coaching and now becoming a coach.
Right.
And so it's nice. It's nice to see that transition happen.
Right. So at the time, that was, I had been doing real estate for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, why do you need a coach? You've been doing real estate for 10 years. Like you sell 25 homes or whatever it is, 30 homes a year. Like, why do you need a coach? You know how to do all this stuff. And that was probably my own mentality a little bit. Like, what is a coach going to teach me? I know how to write an offer. I know how to take a listing. I know how to meet, do well in face-to-face meetings. Like, what am I going to learn? And you don't know what you don't know. And that's the whole point. Everyone that we know who's performing at a high level, whether it's 1,000 transactions a year, all the ones that I know that are performing at that level, they have coaches. Yeah. Even though they could be the number one agent in the country, but they're being coached on something that they want to improve upon.
Well, it's Mike and Donna, our coaches at the time. It's funny when they say, they have a coach. I'm like, so our coaches have coaches who have coaches, right? Because they're trying to level up what they're doing. They're learning from people who have leveled up to the next level.
And it's all living up to your potential. Like you have to learn what you don't have to, but I call it a yearning for learning. You want to perform live up to your potential. And the only way you can live up to your potential is keep filling those vacant gaps. Yeah.
Well, and it's like the company you work with, Club Wealth. I like how they have the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. And we've gone on a coaching subject versus, your transition EXP. But it's like you're learning from people. You're teaching people you're selling 100 homes. You're teaching people at 50 to get to 100. Right. And then you're being coached by someone who's selling 400. Right. How do I get to 400 homes? Right. And those people are willing to give back and take the time out of their day. Because God, if I'm selling 400 homes a year and I'm still in production, running a team, I don't have time to be doing that stuff. So they're making the time in their schedule to be doing that and helping elevate the other people who are wanting to grow.
And what that does is it shows you that can be done because so-and-so is doing it. And they're teaching you how, when you're selling, agents out there can relate. You're selling 10 homes a year and you feel like, I'm so busy, I don't know how anyone can sell 20 homes a year. And when you sell 20 homes a year, you're like, I'm working 70 hours a week. I don't know how in the world anyone could sell 50 homes a year. And then you get to 50 homes a year and that
you're like, wow, I'm working 25 hours a week selling 50 homes a year. This is great. I finally got systems in place. Now I can double that.
Right, exactly. So now we're connected with people that are doing multiple hundreds transactions a year. And you see, their lifestyle. They're doing jujitsu and they're coaching people and they're flying here and flying there and they're always speaking here and speaking there. And you're like, when do you have time to? But that's all part of it. It's learning.
It's the plan.
Learning how to be more efficient and effective.
So let's roll back to our topic of our main conversation, your time at EXP. What do you see the next 6 months?
So so what happened, for the first 6 months, my goal was to not lose any business, to keep performing at a high level and learn as much as I can about EXP.
Yeah.
When you join EXP, you get all of these different websites. And so what I did on week 1 was I created a spreadsheet, and I'm like, what are all of these different EXP websites? And so I created a spreadsheet that has them all, laid out and an explanation for them all.
Right.
So I did that because if I'm feeling this way, I know that if I bring someone onto my team, or if I bring someone into the brokerage, they're probably going to feel that way. So the more things that I can clear up while they're fresh on my mind, if I see there's a little bit of friction about something that I'm not understanding, as soon as I learn how to do it, I will make a video about it, or I'll document it in some way. So that way, if I'm bringing someone with me, I know that question's going to come up. I have a documented, solution for that. So that's, for this next 6 months, there's still a lot more to learn. Express offers with EXP.
A lot of tools we still got to dive into.
So many tools that are available to us that weren't available to us anywhere else. The KV Core system, I equate some of that stuff to like an Excel spreadsheet. You can feel like you know a lot about it, but it's like the tip of the iceberg. The deeper you dive, the more you realize you don't know. And so it's just same thing, just constantly learning and growing production, growing my team, helping other agents succeed that need help.
What does your team look like in 6 months?
My team, so right now we've got 5 agents total on the team. So by the end of the year, 10 agents, I would say 11 with myself.
That's some good growth.
Yeah, that's the goal. And just, if I can consistently close 150 transactions a year, I know firsthand that I can close consistently 150 transactions a year and have time for an enjoyable life, have funds to be generous and give, be able to pour into new agents and other people who want to lead teams. And so, and I'm sure when I get there, my goals, my vision will change, but I feel like for right now where I am, that's my plan for the next 12 months, and 6 months will be
awesome. Yeah, because I think the 1 year in is really when you hit that point of like, wow, it's working. I've got it. It's like for us, it was the first year was just like getting the team rolling while we're at EXP. And then, the 2020 came along. We're like, all right, well, we had a little transition with our team hiccup, but all of a sudden we're like, let's grow. And, it's like the new coach we have, he's like, so what's your team size? 5. Why so small?
Mm-hmm.
It made us think bigger. Now our team size is 15. Now by the end of the year, we'll be at 30.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on a recruiting campaign right now to grow the team with the right players.
Right.
Everybody wants to come in to work with you, but it's like we want to have the right people come and work with us.
Right.
The beauty of this company as well is that if you're not a fit for the team, not that it's just we're certain dynamics that we're looking for, then we can work with you inside the company, not at the team. Right. And help coach you along the right direction.
Not everyone wants to be on a team. Some people want to be a solo agent.
Yeah.
Some people want to be team leaders themselves.
Yep.
So by meeting these agents face to face, you can determine, is this a person that's a great match for my team? Is this person someone that wants to learn how to be a team leader? Is this person someone that they're a solo agent? Maybe you always have to dive into what their goals are and see what you can do to help them accomplish those goals.
Awesome. Well, any final points as we wrap up here?
I would, if anyone has any questions or hesitations or would like to learn more, I'm an open book and I'm happy to chat and communicate. I don't know which camera is the camera, but
where you're running laptop and camera.
Yeah, so I'm happy to communicate and answer any questions. It's always, I think our business model has always been zero pressure.
Yeah.
I think that's what keeps our sphere growing with customers and keeping them. We've never been high pressure salespeople. So
they're coming to us because of us.
Yeah. We come from a place of contribution. So that's how we still work our network and partnership.
So if you guys are thinking about whether it's making a move or what a transition looks like, or you're an EXP and you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to chat. We're here to help. I mean, that's the main goal of the business. The main goal of real estate is to help get back and keep going.
Yep.
So cool, guys. So you all have an awesome day. Danny, I appreciate you jumping on 6 months at EXP. We'll do a 9 months and a 12 months and really see how your progress is going. We'd love to check in. And of course, you guys know that Daniel and I do a show on Mondays. So dive into our page on Agents Who Win. Should request to get in there, and you can check out our money coaching calls.
And jive with us.
And jive with us.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
About the end broadcast on there. Right there. Oh, yeah. Cool.
Woo.